There was a Hawkeye movie. I don't know if you knew this. Like way back in the day.
What the fuck was
There's
they
a
doing
Black
with
Widow
that?
movie. Like
There's a Black Widow. I did not touch
too many
that.
superhero movies. There's way too many superhero movies.
Well,
so I'm just saying the four like Spider-Man movies. Like take away the fucking Black Widow movie and give me another Spider-Man. Man. Like I'm
Davin's back on the beat, shebang. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Three Wise Guys podcast. We have Davin behind the camera. This is like not a mirage.
Yeah, I know. It's been
real.
It feels like it's been like a year.
It's been.
It might have.
Davin, do you remember when the last time you were in the house? I know you don't have a mic.
It was a couple weeks before he became a small business owner.
Yes.
So how long have you been a small business owner for now?
No, he came for one episode in the middle of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it was with like Luke and you.
Okay,
Yeah.
just the two of us. Yeah, fair.
But I started the journey May 2024.
May 2024.
I've been a business owner. This
Holy
is
shit.
May 2026.
2 years? Yeah, man, time flies.
Sheesh.
well, it makes sense why he was here for the 100th, right?
Yeah.
6 in a year, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's insane.
That's pretty crazy. Holy
That's
crap.
insane.
That means you've actually been with us longer than 2 years, though, because you were with us for a while before you did the cafe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, really, it's like I don't understand how quickly time moves. I think even when we were talking about moving out and everything, we were always referring to 3 years together. It's actually been 4 years together by the end of this month. So time really flies. Holy crap.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, we love having you here, Davin. You always make the lighting look just extra nice.
And you turn us into a professional outfit.
Yeah, I feel like
really what
there's
it
a
is.
certain level of polish when Davin's here.
Yeah.
It's like a level of accountability.
You turn us to a professional outfit. But yeah, no, welcome, sir.
Yeah.
Welcome back, sir.
So to the audience, you might notice we were a little low energy today. We were at a wedding yesterday, all three of us. One of our closest friends got married over the past week. It was a nice Punjabi brown wedding. And we'll actually talk about that a little bit more in a minute. I think we did a lot of cool things. And even our friend Sunday who got married mentioned it at the wedding. A lot of people had their first, like we wrapped turbans this week. We all wore turbans. Maybe we can post a picture of us wearing turbans overlaying on this, Davin. We'll give you a clip of that. But yesterday was the reception, so we were out pretty late, pretty tired. But we have some cool things to talk about with you guys today. I think the first thing that we want to talk about is a little callback. I know we talked about Kalshi and prediction markets and Wealthsimple predict and everything coming to it. But I know Dolapo and Luke found some new information on that.
Or accurate information.
Accurate information. Well, to us, it's new information because we didn't know it. But, and correct me if I'm wrong, basically what we understood in the past where it was like, oh, you can't just make lines and submit them and things like that, but you can. It does work like that. It's kind of like a submission and mass adoption kind of situation. Is that right?
Yeah, that is correct. So I think in our last conversation, I was giving the examples of hedging, a restaurant hedging free drinks based off of sports bets, and doing like a small business owner maybe even hedging commodity prices and saying you could create like a contract, and Luke was like, no, you can't do that, which was right as well. You can like, I think we're both like half and half, where you can create a prediction contract, but it won't get posted, to the public. It has to go through a full vetting process. There's specific characteristics that it needs to hit, and this is at least on Wealthsimple, Predict, and Kalshi. I didn't check what the polymarket process is, but it's similar. Like, the rules might not be the same. And so what it really is yes, you can create a prediction contract. Yes, there is a very strict kind of procedure and rule set that you need to follow. And after you do that, it might get accepted, but it still needs to be mass adopted. A bunch of people still need to want to engage with it for it to end up, kind of on the TL or as a public contract for people to invest in. So I think that was like the information that we found out just in general about how these prediction markets work. And then since our last conversation, what actually brought this up was the Simple Predict app, which was prediction markets coming to Canada. I have since downloaded the app. And what do you know? Canada obviously does things differently. Okay, so in Canada, all the fun stuff that we hear about happening in the U.S. actually doesn't happen. so
This is also the first of its kind.
Yeah.
I don't think we should have ever expected that to happen right away either. In retrospect, probably. But,
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense.
I mean, Kalshi was like is the first of its kind in the U.S. So,
This is Polymarket was first, and then Kalshi came after.
I think Polymarket is. I don't think you can use Polymarket in the U.S. or like
Yeah,
it's out of the U.S.
You can now.
Oh, you can now.
You can now.
But yeah, you couldn't for the most. So,
For
like,
a while, you couldn't.
Yeah, Kalshi was the first in the U.S. Polymarket was the first in the space, but it was outside the U.S. And then it came in. Long story short, we have Simple and Predict now in Canada. It is live. It's regulated by CRO. And I think the important thing is with Simple Predict, you cannot bet on sports, lifestyle, entertainment, or any of the fun stuff. You can only bet on finance,
Financials, economics,
and weather.
Which is so weird.
Which is, I mean,
The weather piece is weird, at least to me. I don't want to bet on the weather. What the hell?
I mean, I guess they're just like, these are like, pretty standard things. And I have the app open on my phone right now. If you see me looking at my phone, so I could give you an example of a contract.
Yeah, I want to hear some lines.
And so it's okay. Let me see this. How low will Bitcoin get in 2026? Right, and it's like a 3-option kind of like select three. You have 3 options to select from. Below $55,000, which has 55% of the vote right now. Below $50,000, which has 41% of the vote right now, or below $45,000, which has 28% of the vote right now. And the trading volume here,
those numbers add to 100.
no, it doesn't add to 100. So that was the 55 plus 41 plus 28.
So they don't add to 100 because the line that they're going to show you is always going to be the percentage of people that said yes. But
Oh, I see.
so you have to
That's
click
exactly
into
what
each
it
one
is.
of them, and on each one of them there'll be a yes and a
Or no.
But
So
on
it's like
on the main
38,
page, it's
yeah.
always going to show yes. So when people talk about this has this, it's not really this has a X percentage amount of happening.
No, it's just how many people.
This percentage of people on this line said yes or bought yes versus bought no.
Yeah, so it's like the one that's weighted 38%, basically 62% of people are saying no.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that's-
but between the three of them, it will never add to 100.
No.
No, I mean, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
because so yeah, what Arya noted is is correct. Like on Simple Predict, at least you can only vote yes or no. Those are the only 2 things. Like
I think on all of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, on all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like it's only yes or no, and you put money behind your yes or your no. And I think what I wanted to say is the total volume in this Bitcoin contract, $4.8 million. That's a lot of volume. That's
I
a
mean,
lot.
compare that. So from what I understand as well, because we're talking about creating lines, right?
Yeah.
But at least on Simple Predict, they don't create any, like, there's no crowdsourcing for Simple Predict
they just
because they
put
pull
them.
their lines directly from Kalshi. So they'll like pick and choose based on whatever it is that they think.
Mm-hmm.
But it's more crowdsourced in the US.
I can give you another one.
Yeah, give me another one.
This is a little bit more boring. This is CPI, Consumer Price Index in July. Above negative 0.2, that's 96%. Above negative 0.1, 89%. And above 0, which is 60%. And this volume is 700K. So actually, like, I'm looking at everything. I think the highest volume today is the Fed decision for 2026. Will the Fed maintain rates? Will they hike it by 25 bips or cut it by 25 bips? This has 5.1 million in trading volume.
I want to see the same line on like Kalshi's actual site and see how much people are trading on Kalshi.
Oh yeah.
Because
Probably like 10 times the
probably
amount.
low.
What'd you say?
5.1 million is pretty low
Yeah.
for any sort of like platform like that, right?
You think so? Like, what
Yes.
are the regular volumes like?
I don't know what they are, but I know 5.1 million is pretty low in comparison to like what's going on in Polymarket and Kalshi.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I
So
can see that.
Kalshi averages roughly $30 to $40 million in daily trading volume.
Sheesh.
Overall.
Overall, that's overall.
Not per line.
Not per line.
Not per
Yeah.
line.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty. I mean,
So I mean, I guess I don't know.
Polymarkets is
But they also have more
regularly
lines.
averaging tens to hundreds of millions to over 44 billion apparently.
like in total trading volume.
I'm searching daily volume. I don't know if that's what it pulled, but
Yeah, like I think.
And
So
that's an average, by the way. There are outliers where flagship lines. It says flagship lines can easily clear 50 to 100 million plus in volume.
Wow.
With
Yeah.
daily niches hovering between 5,000 and 50,000.
Okay.
But like, there's way less lines, right? Like, this is technically like on Well Simple Predict. This would be like a flagship line.
Yeah,
that you're
this is
seeing right now.
the Well Simple Predict flagship.
It's
yeah.
like on their main page.
Yeah, it's on their main
You know
page.
what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's doing like 5 million, 4 million, right?
Yeah.
Versus like flagship lines on Kalshi doing 50 to 100.
Yeah.
it's more like the highest volume on Polymarket is about 1.21 billion in a week. So I guess you're looking at what, like 150 million a day to like 170 million a day. So you're right, it's 44.3 billion in total. But I think the important thing that we want to actually talk about is not about like these lines or like thing. It's like last time the way this conversation was going is like, is trading these types of lines like a smart financial decision? Like not necessarily in terms of like, oh, like, are they allowed to do this, whatever? Like, I think the context of what we were talking about is when you make trades on Polymarkets, is that like an informed financial decision, like investing in a stock, or is it more akin to sports betting? And I think the thing we said was if you are able to create your own lines, it would be less akin to sports betting because you have more control. But if it's similar to sports betting where the lines are created by the platform, which largely, after our research, it would be more akin to sports betting. At least that's my opinion of it. I think the other thing that I researched afterwards is because just working in marketing, like looking into some like open RFPs, like I think it's really telling what a brand aligns themselves with. Like if a brand, the types of brands that align themselves with certain things are seeking a certain type of audience. And if you look at Polymarket and Kalshi, they're basically bidding on the exact same types of advertisement slots as gambling sites. Like, I don't know if you know this, but like Polymarket became UFC's marquee sponsor before it was DraftKings, right? Kalshi is like a marquee sponsor in like, I believe, like a bunch of like different like sporting and MMA organizations. And my point is, if they wanted to attract more of like an investor profile, more of like, oh, I'm trying to go after the hedge fund guy or like the guy who's trading like tons and tons of volume through like puts and calls, I don't think they would be advertising on those exact same slots. So I think like my opinion on this after doing a little bit more research is like I'm a little bit more entrenched into like, at least as it stands now, I think it's a little bit more like sports betting, which again, like I'm not here to say if that's good or bad. I'm just saying it's more like sports betting than it is like traditional investing from my perspective.
Yeah. No, I think
I'd
they
agree.
do both. They do both, right? Like, I what I'll say is post research. Yes, I have moved more to the side where it is more sports betting and it is more dangerous in the sense where, like, just given just the restrictions that they have in Canada and even the way like Kalshi is moving versus Polymarket, and then I think I was just mentioning to the guys that the state of New York is also suing Kalshi, right? Like, you know, that's a big deal. But to your advertisement point, like Kalshi's all over CNPC. One of their biggest investors is ICE, which is like the NASDAQ stock exchange. You know, they actually have information contracts with a lot of the financial media companies because they supply them information on CPI and all those things. So all of this to say they are doing investing in the sports gambling. They are also investing in the audience with the puts and calls. They are doing both, and I do think there is like a big danger. I don't think we highlighted insider trading enough earlier. but insider trading is probably as big, if not bigger, a bigger risk than just the addiction. At least like in terms of like regulators and stuff. Than just like the gambling addictions.
It's a risk
but
to everyone. It's like a risk to the integrity of the platform.
yeah, it's a
too,
risk to
which
the
is like
integrity of the platform. Yeah, exactly.
people. It just the whole house of cards comes falling down. But it's interesting as I looked up the state of New York suing Kalshi. It's exactly what we were talking about, where they're basically arguing that Kalshi's contracts are like on sports,
Gambling.
elections, and cultural events. They rely on chance and therefore meet the legal definition of gambling. And so they're arguing that they're bypassing state gaming licenses, which was our exact conversation, which was like, why would you do a betting platform versus prediction market? Because there's less regulations. You don't have to get your licenses, things like that. And they're actually doing that. That thing. Age restrictions. New York notes that Kalshi allows 18 to 20-year-olds to use the platform, violating the state's legal minimum age of 21 for sports wagering and similar adult gaming.
Yeah.
The state suit requests the forfeiture of illegal profits, triple damage fines, and customer restitution that could total upwards of $36 billion.
Yeah. No, I saw that. So I watched an interview where the CEO of the day it came on, his name is Tariq Mansour. They had him on CNBC. He says it's a cash grab. The state of New York wants their lick, which is
that's why they have the licenses in the first place.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah.
No, they're saying
they have the licenses so they can get their licks.
So they can get their lick, and they're saying, and the CEO's perspective is we're regulated by the federal regulator.
Yeah.
What's it called? CFTC. And so we don't need to pay all these other guys, which is what happens in gambling, right? Every state gets a lick.
Well, it's also funny. I think this is a little bit more than a lick. I think this is a little vindictive. Kalshi's market cap is $22 billion. So the damages that they're
requesting is 36.
So it's more than just a lick, I'd say.
Yeah, they're getting a pound. They're like, you can't bypass them.
They do not want them to exist anymore. They don't want them to exist. If it was a pound of flesh, they'd be like, okay, we'll settle for $5 billion, call it a fee, and then let's get you regulated. Let's make money. That would be their pound of flesh. This is like they're upset.
Yeah, they're upset. They're
the
very
state
upset.
is incredibly upset, and I mean they're starting big, I guess, and then they might settle on just a pound of flesh. We'll see.
All of this to say, maybe the Three Wise Guys session of this is over, but watch this space in real life. Like the prediction markets versus the people is not over.
Pull the whole fucking blanket off of them, man.
Yeah. Anyways, but yeah, I think that was the big thing in pop culture, and we'll see how it is. I think the other thing that happened this week, and I wonder if there was a prediction market for it. The Odyssey crossed $1 billion in the box office.
Yeah.
There's been 5 movies this year, I believe, that have crossed $1 billion in the box office. So the Michael Jackson biopic.
Is
Odyssey.
Obsession one of them?
I don't know if Obsession, but check it.
I think Obsession went huge this year.
Yeah, I don't think it crossed. It was the ones I saw was I think Brand New Day, Michael Jackson biopic.
Oh, Superman?
No,
the
new
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man has already crossed
yeah.
$1 billion.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the Spider-Man Brand New Day.
Apparently
Odyssey.
Super Mario Galaxy movie was big too.
Oh, Toy Story.
Story
Michael,
5.
And
I
Super
forgot
Mario.
about
Yeah,
that.
those are the 5.
Yeah.
Super Mario, really?
I haven't even seen that, but yeah, Super Mario Galaxy movie, Michael the biopic, Toy Story 5, The Odyssey, and Spider-Man
There's a new
Brand New
Avengers
Day.
movie coming out soon too, right?
Yeah,
I
Doomsday.
think, I'm gonna watch that in December. The trailer looked pretty cool. I haven't seen a Marvel movie in forever, in like 2-3 years.
And what's the? Someone told me to go watch Project Hail Mary.
That was like
that
came out
was
like a
Davin.
while
Davin says he
ago.
told. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
the
That was
Ryan
2026
Gosling
as well.
Yeah, really good. I heard
Apparently
really good
that one
movie
was
too.
insane. It's like a space.
It's literally on Prime right now. You can you can watch it after this.
Yeah,
I will watch it.
But all of this is saying like movies are back. The box office is fucking booming. Like, you know, like I was excited. We went to
We went to go see it. I saw it twice. I saw Odyssey
yeah,
twice.
this man saw Odyssey twice. I want to go see Brett. I told Luke and Alyssa I wanted to go see Spider-Man Brand New Day just because, like, you know, that's the movie. And then Alyssa was like, have you seen the last Spider-Man movie? I was like, huh, I don't think so. She was like, what about the one before that? I was like, was that the first one? Because I've seen that. She's like,
You
no.
don't need to watch them.
Yeah, I know,
Yeah.
but they were just calling. Alyssa was not pleased with me because I've only seen the first Tom Holland Spider-Man. I haven't seen the other two that came out, and now, like, all of a sudden, I'm excited to see Brand New Day. And she's like, what the fuck? What about all the other Spider-Mans, right? I was like, hey, I don't know.
Work backwards.
I don't know. Yeah,
Work
you know,
backwards.
like,
you know?
I'll watch the new one that everyone says is good, and if I like it a lot, I'll double back to watch, you know, 2 and 3. I don't know. I didn't even know there were 4 Spider-Man movies, if I'm being completely honest.
Do you know about, like-
I think there's wholly too many Spider-Man movies. But so what were you gonna say?
It's clearly like a cash cow.
I was going to
for
say, if it's making
Marvel,
$1 billion
right? Like,
in like 2 weeks of coming out, like, keep it going.
How different are the movies really from one another?
they're pretty different.
Are
man.
they?
They're
Okay.
they're pretty different.
Okay,
They're-
there's-
I don't know. If you like Marvel, you'll like all of them.
yeah.
I think like the Spider-Man franchise. I don't think like all the Marvel franchises are done the same. Like Iron
No.
Man is obviously one that like is a standout. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people fucking love all the Iron Man movies. Like, do you know the last Incredible Hulk movie?
No.
Like, you know what I mean? Thor movies are like they're okay. You
They're
know what
okay,
I mean?
yeah.
Like,
Even the worst ones are the Captain America movies.
Winter Soldier was good, I think.
What did
No,
Captain
sorry,
America
Civil
do to
War.
you?
Civil War was good.
Sorry?
Civil War was good, but I don't think you.
Oh
Could
yeah,
call that
Civil
a-
War was good.
You
But
couldn't
like,
call
was-
that a Captain America.
No, it was
movie.
like an Avengers movie dressed up as a Captain America
Yeah.
movie. It was like
There was a Hawkeye movie. I don't know if you knew this. Like way back in the day.
What the fuck were
There's
they
a
doing
Black
with
Widow
that?
movie. Like
There's a Black Widow. I did not
There's
touch
too many
that.
Yeah, there's
superhero
just-
movies. There's
there's-
way too many
yeah.
superhero movies.
Well,
so. I'm just saying the four like Spider-Man movies. Like take away the fucking Black Widow movie and give me another Spider-Man. Man. I'm good without the fucking Black Widow movie.
Yeah.
But
So what did you guys think of the Odyssey?
Yeah,
Like, honest opinion. Like we can go through that right now. First of all, I really loved it, but I want to hear what you guys.
I'll
think.
give.
I think
Okay.
we are becoming the sea people with the way that we are rapidly progressing society.
Wait, the sea
That is
people?
that is the modern Odyssey.
Who's
the
the
same
sea-
way that
Oh, the sea
Odysseus
people. Okay.
like went all the way and then like, you know, as like he's going on the journey or whatever, and then he realizes he is the sea people. Right? Like he committed the act which like was forever not possible again. Like my hot take is what we've been doing with the rapidly accelerating economy is a modern version of like the sea people. Like, you know, like where it's like they were the first ones to introducing like deception in war, right? But we've introduced like a certain type of thing into the economy which is impossible to take back. Like that's kind of my take on that. But
What is it?
just rapid acceleration. Like we have to
I hear what
rapidly
Luke is saying. For example, then I think to your point, we've seen this through generations. Like the atomic bomb, you know, during
Yeah.
the World War was one example of
Yeah.
you know this analogy of the sea people and Zeus's law being torn down in favor of a new world order. Basically, Zeus's law going away is equivalent to new world order. So any parallel you can find in globalization, new world order, you know what I mean? When you take actions that you can't take back, and you introduce the concept of, let's say, like mutually assured destruction, you've essentially like stripped away like a safety net that society once had.
Yeah.
And introduced another one, maybe, perhaps. Not to say it's bad or good or whatever it is, but I think that's what Luke is trying to say.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's
No,
like
that's good.
there's been many variations
Of the sea people. Got
But
it.
like I think like what I'm almost getting to is like we're at a point in society where the biggest levers are not like weapons, it is the economy, right? Like it's no longer like a physical weapon. Like yes, like we could probably create like some sort of insane physical weapon that can destroy the world, but that has to be
Drones.
backed by no, but like think about
joking.
even drones, right? Like the reality of drones is there's a super entrenched deep supply chain. Like think about every single drone that is being used in Ukraine. What if China were to just cut off the rest of the world? A lot of those drones would disappear immediately, right? Like the powers that we're dealing with now are no longer like this individual weapon. It's like this incredibly interconnected global economy that is expected to like grow at a certain rate. Otherwise, like as a society, we kind of like cannot exist anymore. It's like we're in like a growth era. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean,
it's kind of the.
I'm with you there. The economy grows at like 2%, but like I get what we do need it to grow at
But
like
they're
2%.
propelled by fewer and fewer companies, which is an illustration.
I
of
meant
that,
the
like-
global one though. But anyways, I get no. I think the analogy on the sea people is pretty.
And you
astute.
can also like the
It's pretty astute.
parallel Luke makes gets stronger too. It's not just that 2% year over year. It's whatever it's been compounded over the past 10 years,
Yeah.
over the
The
past
2%
20
is-
years.
The
You know, it's
2%
much
this
more.
year
It's
is-
2% is significant when you look at it over
Yeah,
decades.
compounding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But to your point, it's not exponential, like which is also
Well,
important to-
no, the compounding makes it
is- makes
exponential.
it-
That's the
does
point.
make it
Right, but
That's
like
the point.
it
I
could
think-
also be exponential and you know what I
Compounding.
mean, and compounding.
Like
as
he's
well,
talking
yeah.
like S curves.
Technically speaking,
like you
like,
know,
yeah.
like you guys compounding like S curves. Like if you're growing like 200, 300x.
It's
across,
one
like,
level
3
of
years.
yeah.
Like AI companies have been doing growing like 3x over 3 years every year and accelerating. No, that's spot on. But my review is going to be a lot dumber because I remember my director at work actually asked me. He was like, "What did you think?" I was like, "Well, anytime I go to the movies, I fall asleep, not voluntarily, just like my body just fucking does its thing." And the Odyssey. I watched the Odyssey. I didn't know it was 3 hours. I did not fall asleep once, and it held my attention the entire time. So, I mean, if like I don't remember the last movie that did that.
These
I
are all true
remember when I
statements.
came home after watching the first. I said the same thing.
Yeah, you
I
said
was like, I
asleep.
did not fall asleep. I can't remember the last time I didn't because the movie theater is dark, man.
Yeah.
And the seats are comfy.
Yeah,
And I sit in the VIP seats.
yeah, and we
And
usually
it's like a couch. You know what I mean? Is that, how do you sit in a dark room on a couch for 3 hours and not sleep? It's just impossible.
It's pretty hard. It's
But
pretty hard.
Delp
Davin's
was
like-
absolutely right. Odyssey kept the attention very well.
Yeah.
I feel like they didn't linger in one specific part of the story for longer than they needed to.
No, like
You know,
In
it was like
fact-
you got what you needed from that scene, and it's like, okay, on to the next island. Okay,
in
on
fact,
to the next island.
if that would be my one critique, I feel like they could have spent a little bit more time on some of those like
then you would've fallen
trials.
asleep.
Well, I mean, possibly, right? I'm talking. I think I said I would give it like an 8 or a 9. That's what I would take. Like I want to spend some more time with Hades, or spend some more time in Troy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or with the Cyclops. Well, no,
What
the Cyclops was done.
Where was Hades?
Hades was when they went to the
When
dark,
they went to the
dark
underworld.
eye between
Oh,
where
in
the fire
with the
meets the
land.
ice.
Yeah,
Where the
yes.
fire meets
Yeah,
the ice.
where the fire meets
Yeah,
the
you
ice.
are right in the sense of like it did feel like there's like obviously like video games where every single thing is explained, and then there's ones where like a guy will just say something, and I'm like, you're kind of supposed to just like
Go
and like figure it out. And it was like where the fire meets the ice, and then when they're going there, I was like, my
the fuck
dumbass
is
was
this?
visually trying to see lava hit ice.
Same,
Like,
same.
I was
Well,
like,
that- no,
lit-
they had that.
but not like
You could see
they
it in the
didn't,
distance. There was, like-
flash it. You know what I mean? Like a different movie would have been like so like in your face about it. It was like very subtle.
subtle.
Like
It
done.
was
in
subtle.
Each like
In each
phase,
thing.
you know, like
That
so-
is a Nolan specialty though. That kind
The
of like
subtlety.
visual subtlety.
Yeah.
He's very much there's points of action, but the whole thing moves in a very slow and methodical manner.
And deliver. And I think the last thing I would have loved to know a little bit more about Agamemnon.
Agamemnon.
People were saying like it's insane that this guy was in the movie for 6 minutes and he's like one of the most memorable characters. And they were trying to like
true.
give flowers to the actor, but I'm like, I think it should be the costume designer.
I was gonna
man.
say the actor did
costume.
nothing.
The actor did absolutely. The costume
He was-
designer was just like
He
I
could
was
have he
like-
could have been a bodybuilder like Ashton Hall.
Yeah.
And like not say any lines but just look stoic.
Yeah,
Like,
straight
for
up.
that was the role. Just wear some super cool armor and look stoic.
Yeah, he was just aura farming.
Yeah.
I thought it was an interesting choice. I think obviously it was on purpose.
Yeah, it
you know,
was.
him not being as, but
And it added to
yeah, I think it added to it because you expect a king to get airtime. You know what I mean? And he purposely didn't give him that. He purposely kept the story focused on Odysseus, and I like that because Odysseus' journey was like the whole reason why we were there.
Yep.
You know, Agamemnon's family was the reason they're involved in the war of Troy, but Odysseus is the genius general that the whole story is based around. So I like that.
I get that, but I acknowledge that because I do think he used it kind of as a plot device, which I like.
Yeah.
But it was like for me, I haven't read it, and maybe I do need to go sit with the Odyssey and read it. But what was the relationship between Ithaca and what was his? I don't even where did Agamemnon rule? Like what was the relationship?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Same
like
thought.
he's a king in Ithaca, and Agamemnon is the king. So like, is he the king of the other
like a
kings?
different like sub-state? Because I was so confused when
sub-state. That's
when
basically what
Agamemnon,
it
like
is.
when he gets assassinated, right?
Yeah.
It's like, and then he was like, you have to be careful when you go back. And then I was like, wait, but then like, what happened to your kingdom after?
Yeah.
Is it not the same kingdom? And then like, if you know what I mean? I found it very strange.
It's kind of like the whole lordship in the UK. There's the king, and then there's all the lords who have rule over their own domains. Within the
I get that. But
within
then
the country.
they're called lords. They're not called kings.
Yeah, it was just different. This was hundreds of years before any of the medieval UK years. You know what I mean?
like, how does that work?
This
So,
was like 600 BC, right?
No, but I'm just like, how does that like? So the guy comes back, and then his wife assassinates him because she has like a lover, and I guess he sacrificed
Her kid,
the
yeah,
kid. Which
yeah.
you know what, valid.
That's why she killed him. Yeah,
I get that, but it's like, what happens afterwards? The lover and the wife can't imagine they're just gonna take over the throne, right? Because Agamemnon, he has like loyal servants, right? Like they can't just like take over
His
the throne.
brother was king. It was,
Oh yeah,
his brother was king.
The Punisher. The Punisher took over.
Yeah.
Oh,
His brother was
so
the king
that
of
was
Mycenaes.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So
Okay,
his
that
brother,
makes-
and that's why Telemachus went to go see
Got it.
The brother.
the king, which was the brother, right? And he he portrayed the story and told him what happened and everything, and it was sad. The wife only cared about getting revenge on
Agamemnon.
She didn't care about the kingdom. She
Yeah.
cared about her child being sacrificed.
Fair.
Yeah.
So,
That's
yeah.
fair. But all of this to say, I would have wanted. I wanted a bit more. Maybe they do a sequel. Don't do a sequel. Don't listen.
There is no sequel to the Odyssey.
Okay, a prequel. Well, he clearly changed the entire story because that's not Zeus's law. But like, do a prequel and give us the story of like the adventures of Agamemnon and Odysseus. So I don't know, like where they do the backstory of them as boys and like taking over and like establishing how Troy pissed them off and like something like that. I don't know, or go read the book The Lapo.
Yeah.
So there's also that. But
I-
anyways,
I will say
You
what
can also
I've
read the wiki too.
yeah, we could also ask like ChatGPT.
It's a Homer novel.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's like written in like Homer Greek or something like that. It's like a different kind of Greek.
It is like interesting in the sense of like I felt like it is so interesting how you can take a. First of all, I wanted to say two things. One, people like need to put some respect on Nolan's name because I don't know if you remember the lead up to this. People were talking mad shit about this movie. Like there was so many things on social media where they were like, "Look at these costumes; they're fucking ridiculous." Like the people were roasting the scene in the trailer, like that scene with the giants. They were like, "What the fuck are they wearing? Like this is so not accurate. No one's gonna ruin this movie." When they casted I forgot
Lupita.
No,
Zendaya?
the trans actor.
Oh, so the biggest controversy.
Ellie Page,
Yeah,
like,
Elliot Page,
like
yeah.
he was ripped apart for that. He was ripped apart
She
for
was there
Helen
for all
Fuller.
of 20 seconds.
For sure.
The biggest controversy about this movie by far was the diversity in the casting.
Yes, like
that was the biggest talking point. That was the reason why it was making newswaves before it got released. Is people were not happy with so much diversity being represented in an era where obviously that diversity would not have existed. You
Yes.
know what I mean? But like, I mean, who cares? The movie was fucking great.
There was a lot of backlash.
There was a lot of backlash. The whole diversity thing was
Yeah.
easily the biggest controversy
Yes.
before anyone even watched. This was all from the trailers.
Well, the whole thing is, fucking Brad Pitt played the character that Ellie Page played previously in Troy.
Oh, really?
So they were like, you went from Brad Pitt, who like goes out and fucking like domes like 3 guys, to this guy.
Oh, really?
Right. So like that was the whole.
Okay.
But like anyway, there was a lot of like background on this, and all I have to say is First of all, like you have to judge like an art piece for what it is. You can't watch like a 2-minute trailer and judge like a 3-hour movie, obviously. But I thought what Nolan did here that was really interesting. I do love Christopher Nolan. Unlike a lot of people, I wouldn't say he was like one of my favorite actors, but directors. But what I thought
That
was
bandwagon is very full right now.
After this, he's up there on my list
look at that.
for sure.
I love the Batman trilogy. I didn't think like his other movies I think were all great. They just like I think in some ways they were a little bit more like other people's cup of tea. Like don't get me wrong, like nothing wrong with like any of the other movies. I love the Batman trilogy. I will say this though. The same thing with the Batman trilogy. What I think Nolan does exceptionally well is he looks at a story and he's like, I'm going to tell this story my way.
My way, yeah.
Because when you think about the Odyssey, the way it's almost always told is this triumphant journey. Like when you look at the way the Odyssey is depicted in like almost every setting is like the military genius, like, oh, like the strategy, the aggressiveness of the Greek army, you know what I mean? Like those are the things that are focused on. It's like the idea that history is written by the victor, right?
Yeah.
You said Homer is like the one that wrote the story. Homer is Greek. So he's incentivized to tell that story
From a Greek
in that light, right?
yeah.
And I thought it was really interesting that like Nolan would have looked at a story like that and been like, instead of covering it the way that it has historically been covered, I'm actually going to talk about like the potential tragedy and like all of the things that could have like let out of this, right? Like, I don't know. I thought that was interesting because it's like, you know, technically someone could look at a Superman story and like tell it in a different way. Like
Absolutely.
they could like, what if you told a Superman story from the perspective of like a bystander that when like Superman was flying by, like a car flew and hit his house and now he has to pay insurance or something.
That's so
You know what
true.
I mean? Like
That's
that
so
would be a
true. That would
completely
be
different story.
Perspective. I love that. I love what you said. I'm gonna say something a little blasphemous right now. Like Christopher Nolan, Batman, fantastic. Everything else, like I haven't even seen them.
You have. No, that's what I was going to say. Like, you say the bandwagon, right? So there's the Odyssey. I don't know if, did you ever watch Oppenheimer?
No.
Okay.
I haven't seen
You watch Dark Knight?
Yes.
Okay. Interstellar?
Yeah, of
No.
course.
Inception?
I haven't
Yeah.
seen it.
You haven't seen Interstellar?
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Luke and I at least have.
Yeah, I've
Tenet.
seen-
I've
yeah.
seen Tenet together.
I fell asleep.
You don't like
Okay.
that.
I didn't like it.
Dunkirk?
No, I
I've
couldn't
seen
get
Dunkirk.
through more than like 5 minutes.
All right.
Again, like
Well,
what I'm
that's
saying.
the Lopo, but like,
That's what I'm saying.
hold on.
I'm
That's just
saying
you.
it's a
That's
hot
just you.
take.
No, it's not even a hot take. It's just you.
It's
like,
not a take. You can't be like,
No.
you can't be like, I don't like these things that I've never
No,
seen.
no. Like,
Yeah,
I'm
like,
saying, like I've started.
you've never
to,
seen them.
No, I started to watch them. I couldn't get through them, and then I stopped.
Okay.
Like I've watched
What
Inception.
movies can you get through?
The Odyssey.
Odyssey.
The Odyssey.
Yeah.
And,
The
and
Odyssey.
I have rewatched each of those Batman movies at least 3 times.
Those Batman movies are incredible.
But more so, Luke and I, most of like over the
You guys are
years,
appreciative of the arts.
most of these movies over the years, Luke and I have definitely watched at least once. Like
Yes.
Dunkirk, Tenet, Inception.
I liked Inception, but I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm going back. To
Inception is like one of the most like recognized movies
Yeah,
of all time.
time.
You
that.
know
Yeah,
what I
I've
mean?
watched it. I've watched it.
Yeah, I think you have.
No, I
Nolan,
have.
must
Nolan
have.
has had a goated run, man. Like,
Yeah.
The Inception came out in the early 2000s too.
Yeah,
And then-
2010. But yeah.
Oh, really? So it was
His-
Batman Begins.
Batman
then it
Begins.
was Batman Rise.
The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight, and then it was Inception,
Then
and
no,
then it was
okay,
The Dark Knight Rises.
Exactly. So it was Dark Knight. So
Really?
2008 was Dark Knight.
Okay.
Then Dark Knight Rises was 2012, and
12,
then
I
between
remember
there
that.
was Inception.
He did
Yeah.
Inception between the second and third Batman movie.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
insane.
And then
That's
he
pretty
did,
insane.
and then he went back to back to back to back to back. Interstellar, Dunkirk, Tenet, Oppenheimer, Odyssey, like all insane
This man does not miss.
blockbuster
This
films.
guy's pretty crazy.
Did you like Dunkirk?
I love Dunkirk.
Yeah.
And I liked it just for the sound, and that's all that it was made for. You know,
I was gonna say all I
It was
remember
made
was
for the
just
sound.
people on a ship getting stomped, and I was like, "What is?"
No, there was
this?
like the ship. There was the guys on the thing. There was Tom Hardy who was flying the plane.
I didn't make it to all of that.
the whole it wasn't like a dialogue forward movie by
They
design.
barely talked, actually.
Yeah. The whole design of the film was around the sound.
See, that's too artsy for me.
Well,
Like,
you know,
yeah, like,
after you do like all of those movies, you can have one where it's like that. You know what I mean?
Fair. And
I
then
will
I don't know
say-
any of the stuff pre The Dark Knight either, or the Batman.
The only one that I've
Memento.
seen, the only one that I've seen is Memento.
I don't
It's the
know
only
any of
one
them.
Memento
pre-
is
I really liked
a pretty
Memento.
incredible-
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
Christopher Nolan as well.
Yeah, it
Oh.
is. Yeah.
I haven't seen any of that. So
Memento-
this is why I'm saying like, oh, like I guess everyone's like looking back, and I'm like, shit, like
Christopher
I haven't-
Nolan's kind of anti-war, eh? like considering his last like couple movies are the Odyssey, Dunkirk, and Oppenheimer. Like those are
We'll make
all
some anti-war
kind.
about that.
They're kind of like they're not anti-war inherently, but they like depict war in like a very like raw and like
Visceral.
Yeah, I mean,
visceral
like,
format.
That's,
You know,
that's
I
good.
think that's
I don't know.
very
I don't know if I would say that's anti-war. If he's anti-war, he probably wouldn't want to bring any attention
not
to war.
not even
but
saying that as a bad thing. I think it's
Yeah.
like I think it's actually really good.
Yeah,
but-
it's letting us.
I think he's very infatuated with the war. You know?
I would be too. But no, incredible stuff. Shout out to Nolan. I watched it. I loved it. I contributed like I don't know, $20 to your billion. I feel good about that.
It was like
20 Canadian, just
20
to
Canadian.
clarify.
So, like,
no,
10
it was
bucks?
like
That's like
30,
$5.
It was like 30. It was like $30, guys.
Okay,
It was like at least $30.
I contributed
Plus
$30.
the ticket fees for the 2 times you had to reschedule because you didn't look at your.
Okay, hey, I'm fucked and I can do better, and that's okay.
I won't lie. When we went to the theater, sorry, last thing, when we went to the theater this time, this was the first time in a very long time. I was like, I remember why I brought snacks to the theater because I'm like, I didn't want to like the waiting in line
Yeah,
before the
waiting in
Odyssey.
That
line,
was
that
not
was-
normal.
that
That
was
was
not-
not
was
normal.
ridiculous.
No, that was not normal. Though.
It was, you're
Because
right,
I've been to
you're
the
right,
movies
you're
a
right.
lot the past like
Yeah.
couple of months, and that was not normal.
But it's like
That
we're
was
not-
it was a
long
long
weekend.
weekend.
long weekend Sunday.
Yeah, long
Fair
weekend
enough,
Sunday.
yeah.
That's all it was.
Yeah, the staffing in that Cineplex needs
it was
to improve.
they made mistakes.
It needs- yeah,
It usually takes me like 5 minutes to get my stuff tops.
I just want to say this: if there's someone who is in like a managerial position at Cineplex listening to this for some reason, your system should not ever be a cashier takes the order and then goes and makes the order and then no one's at the cash until they come back. That makes no sense. Please, like I don't work for McKinsey, but even I can see have someone on the cash, have someone on popcorn, have someone on drinks, and they should not be the same person. It was insane. Like our cashier was like, you guys can probably hear our cashier was taking someone's order and leaving for 15 minutes.
Remember, yeah, to go fill, and there was a shortage of popcorn, so she had to go find the
other
spot-
side.
Yeah, the other side where the popcorn. was
In all
pop-
fairness, in that specific counter, there's really only like 2 food items. So
Fair.
it doesn't need to be complicated. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
theoretically, if it's not that busy, you can turn around, fill up the popcorn, and bring it back without hiring
100%.
someone else to go run
It's
food.
a long weekend. Stop.
But yeah,
There's
I
no
mean, it
excuses.
was in theory. There's literally only 2 food items that they need to do: is a drink and is popcorn.
Yeah,
And
you're right.
3
You're right.
nachos. They have
Yeah,
nachos
yeah.
and they have a pump there. But then all the hot food gets made at the other place, the Outback place.
100%. The
Yeah.
frustrating thing was there was definitely enough staff. There was so
Yeah,
many
there was
people
enough
there.
stuff.
They were
It
getting
was-
into each other's
It was just
way.
the making of the popcorn that wasn't efficient. But we can leave that alone. I was gonna say because the Nolan stuff is the Dark Knight. Do you know what's more like? I wonder if there's like a legend or a story about like a Sikh knight.
Oh, for sure.
They have swords.
For sure.
They have turbans. And like their swords are like curved too. You know, they're like the. they're
Say, I
like
think that's
the-
called a saber, right?
I don't know. Is it a saber?
Scimitar.
Oh,
yes,
look
scimitar.
at that! Why do you know? Why do you know what it's called? I was about to start making jokes on this guy. Be like, those are like your people, adjacent.
They're absolutely not my people.
The Sultans definitely had curved blades. Maybe not the
it's
same
it's
one.
entirely
Well, I was
different
gonna say-
religions.
Well, like his people had curved blades. It was
For
mainly
sure.
the oh sorry, you're not Arab, but like the Arab / West Asian.
I mean, we
Yeah,
had the Arab conquest, and then we became like their culture started to. You know, we,
Oh yeah, of course.
we
you
became
guys are
Muslim after the Arab
Yeah, so
conquest became made us Muslim.
Yeah, they beat the fuck out of you guys.
Yeah.
Oh,
Well, yeah, no, I
Was
mean
that
like
the case?
the-
I thought what happened was Alexander the Great started to like.
that's like,
that's
No,
way
no,
later.
that was way-
that
that
was
was
like
earlier.
way before.
So
Yeah.
by
Way
then,
before.
like this had already.
So we were like Iranians were not Muslim until the Arab conquest, and then the Arabs came and conquered parts of Iran, and then they spread Islam. Yeah. Alexander the Great was like in the age of the Greeks, like the Odysseys that we're
Yeah,
watching,
yeah,
you know,
that
the
was like
Odysseys of the
BC.
world. But
Yeah.
you know, when you talk about
Arab, that's AD.
yeah, AD, that was Arab conquest was AD,
But you're
or
right.
just before or something like that, or just after. I don't know.
No, yeah, well, Muhammad came after the Jesus guys.
Yeah.
So.
But you know, you're right. We
the
should look
Sikh Knights.
The
Like
Sikh
I,
Knights.
I want to.
yes.
Yeah, I think we should spend some time looking into Sikhs and the Sikh Knight. Like, I mean, Arya.
A Kirpan.
A kirpan.
It's a kirpan, a kanda, a tega, and a talwar.
Wow.
What is that?
Those are the 4 different types of blades.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Do they have the like tiny one that the priests were wearing? Like remember they had like a
Yeah.
really tiny dagger that was.
He's
like,
not allowed to pull it out unless he's gonna kill someone, though. Apparently.
Really?
Yes. Yeah.
Apparently,
that's the
like you're
rule.
not allowed to.
And that's why
unsheath the blade,
Sunday was not allowed to. So for context, we already told you we went to a wedding, but
Whoa.
our friend Sunday, if he had the thing, he was not. He was like, you were like, take it out. He's like, no, he's gonna get mad at
I
you.
told him to just take it out and kill
Because-
me.
Yeah. Well, he would.
Well, he would have to.
Oh my god, that's insane! I didn't know that. That's
Yeah, it's
pretty.
kinda
So
like
the kirpan,
a
the
warrior
waist
code,
kirpan
yeah.
is the small one.
Oh really?
Yeah, kirpan. That's the little one.
That's
It's kind of like a
pretty
warrior
cold blooded.
code. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
That's
like you
so
can
cool.
only take it out if you need a fight.
By the way, like I do want to talk about the wedding, but like on some like the history is written by the victor shit. Literally at the Sikh wedding, I started to think because like on Tuesday we go to the religious ceremony, and I'm seeing all of. It's not Tuesday.
It was a cultural event,
Cultural
not the
event, sorry,
religious
not-
ceremony.
not
The religious
religious.
ceremony was Saturday.
Was Saturday.
We went to the mehndi night on Tuesday,
Yep.
where we did the dance, and then Thursday was the juggo, which
Yep.
is like another cultural ceremony for the Sikh side, and then Friday was another cultural ceremony for the Sikh side.
Which
and
one
then
was the Tuesday one? Cultural ceremony for
cultural ceremony
For the
for Michelle's side,
For the Muslim side,
for
I
the
think,
Muslim
yeah.
side,
Okay.
but like the Indians will have that too, but it's generally like a Muslim thing, yeah.
Okay.
But sorry, anyway, this was the first time I saw all of like, cause like we met Sunday's family like back when he had the first religious ceremony, like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think
the
a year
nikah.
or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
But obviously his like wider family flew in and all that stuff, and they were all gigantic. They were all
Yeah,
very tall.
huge.
I was
All
like,
very tall
I
Sikh
was
men, yeah.
stunned. And it reminded me of my dad telling me as a kid, he was like, yeah, you know, like the Chinese fought like the Indians like several times and we like bitched them every time. And I'm like, really? Like these like 6'4" like
Giants?
mountainous looking like men with
Okay,
like
in fairness,
you know what I
those
mean?
are-
I'm
those are
like
Punjabs.
They- I
Those
was-
Punjab,
yeah.
like they're
Sunday's family is an outlier as far as sizing goes in that part of the world.
yeah.
But I'm like they existed. That's all I'm saying. They like they
Yeah.
were around. I'm like if a Chinese like 5'4" man were to run into one of these guys on the battlefield, I can't imagine it goes well.
Hey,
Like
well-
that's all I'm saying.
Chinese. Don't underestimate your people, man.
I'm not.
The whole world
I'm
has
just-
underestimated them, and
I'm just like
we pay.
we need to go back and read. I need to read more into these
Read
like
the
Chinese
history.
Indian.
Past
Yeah, I need to look. I need to look into those
Yeah,
conflicts
they ran
specifically.
into each other, and then the next generation was like, get bigger.
Probably took some prisoners.
Using evolution
yeah.
points immediately.
I will say, even back then though, my dad was telling me about this weapon the Indians were using, and I was like, "That's pretty dope." It was basically a frisbee, and on the outside it's a blade, and then on the inside it's not. It's dull. So what they would do is they would spin it on their fingers and like throw them, and they would just like fucking like I guess
That,
like,
that reminds me of
Like a
like a
throwing
kunai. No, not a kunai. Like what's it called? Those throwing stars from like Naruto.
shuriken.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, like a little bit of like a shuriken.
Yeah.
But it's like that's dope, man. Like you imagine you see this guy on
But you
the
don't
back.
throw a shuriken like this.
No, no, you don't.
He's
You
like
throw it
hula
like that.
hooping
You
in
throw
and
it
like
like that.
fucking like that's kind of
That's pretty cool.
yeah.
That'd
So
be pretty
you
cool.
know those ultimate frisbee athletes, they could be lethal. Just keep that in mind, guys.
You're back on this ultimate frisbee kick, eh? Like,
No, I'm really bad at frisbee. But that was a big sport at my school, so I was
Yeah,
very
that was really
jealous.
But sorry, yeah, back to celebrating our friend's wedding and being like super cool Sikhs. I don't know. All right, you were like the best man of the hour.
I wasn't the
how
man
was
of the
that?
hour.
Sorry,
Sunday
well-
was the man of the hour.
Yeah.
I was the best man in MC at the like on yesterday's event, but the rest of it I was just a guest.
I feel like you were like a very involved guest, though.
Yeah, I mean, you want to help out your friends. Anyways, all this to say, I know
want
we're
your
all very
perspective.
grateful to have been part of like cultural ceremony and in a religious ceremony like that. Just being able to see new things and participate in them, I think, is a really valuable experience. So, Luke, Dolapo, and I, we wore turbans for the first time, which was a very fun experience. We woke up at 5 a.m., drove over to Sunday's house, and we had a professional turban rapper wrap turbans on our head. How did you boys feel with those things on your head?
Felt very regal, man. I won't lie. I felt like a Sikh warrior.
Dolapo, how did you feel?
I was ready to be Sikh for the day, if you guys remember.
You were Sikh for the day, bro.
Yeah.
You were getting a lot of attention and a lot of
Man,
love.
it was.
They've
a
never
little
seen a black guy
interesting.
with a turban.
They
That was
had-
the main reason.
It was. I was at least by 5 different people. It was funny too. I don't know if Luke remembers, or you guys probably weren't there. Even when we were at Sunday's house, and I stood up when we were about to leave to the temple. I was outside, like just standing. I don't know if Luke was there. We were waiting for you, and someone was driving, like a car. Like it's a cul-de-sac.
Wait, when we were going in or when when we were leaving?
Like at 7 a.m. in the morning, like after we got our turbans tied. And
Like we're outside.
We're outside
Yeah,
waiting.
yeah, you weren't outside, but I think myself and Luke, or maybe only myself, were waiting for Rohan, RJ, and yourself to come in because we all got in your car
Okay.
to go to the temple, I believe.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? And I was just standing outside, like just, like looking around on my phone. And a guy was, because Sunday's neighborhood is like a cul-de-sac. His house is at the end of a cul-de-sac. Someone was driving to turn around. I don't even think they were there for the wedding. And they were in a car. And they saw me. And they wound down their window. And they were like, oh my gosh, you look so good in the turban. That was like...
I was definitely not there. I can
Yeah.
tell you that.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
it was Delapo standing. We were waiting for you to finish in the bathroom. and we
Okay,
were
yeah,
under the
maybe it was
tent.
him,
You didn't
yeah.
see us when you walked out,
Yeah.
but you were there, and so that's that's interesting.
That was
Yeah.
I was getting so much attention, and
You got
it
a
was,
lot of attention,
It was
yeah.
so funny because they weren't even saying like "hey" or like
They were just like,
catchy-
you look good, yeah.
They were just like I'm walking, not paying attention, and someone's talking at me, and I'm like, oh, like wait, what's going on? And I'm like, huh? And they're like, oh no, you look very good. And like Sunday's uncle started giving me, a very impassioned speech about why Sikhs wear turbans and how
It was.
how they were seen as less
You stood
than.
up for the speech.
Yeah, well, like he looked very serious, and I think I was talking to Sunday after. He was like, "Yeah, that uncle is serious. He's trying to convert me
Like a few times.
a few times.
Most recently, like 4 years
Yeah,
ago.
he keeps trying to convert me back into the religion. Telling me about how they were looked at as less than, in terms of people not seen as equal. Which honestly, I was like, I resonate with, as like not me necessarily, but me living here in Canada, I can understand, black people being seen as less than, and apparently like that was, a sign of pride and a sign of honor in terms of like wearing the turban and them like, kind of reclaiming their power and stuff. And I was like, sheesh, man, like I'm glad me wearing a turban's got you all the feels, but it was great.
Yeah.
It was like I enjoyed the turban. I feel like everybody thought, I'm like, I have dreads, guys. I feel like none of you would do dreads if you think wearing a turban is supposed to make you that uncomfortable. I'm like, nah, getting your hair like pulled and tugged and tied, like that hurts a lot.
I have
more
something
than having a turban on your head.
incredibly like offensive to say right now. I don't
Okay,
know if
say
I
it.
should say this. There's a chance we're gonna have to cut this out. We're gonna know the time.
Timestamp.
As a Chinese man, I am always jealous sometimes of the attention that the Lapo draws, and I have a theory behind it.
Okay.
My theory is this: the reason why, like, when a Chinese guy pulls up in a turban, it's not as crazy.
Everybody's dying
is
right
because
now.
they're
I'm
too
just scared because I.
they're too used to seeing them in those settings as servants. Like Chinese people are part of those churches and shit, just like as like a caterer or like as like the plumber or as like a staff. So I feel like it's the use of like seeing us that draws less attention.
So you thought people thought you were a caterer? Is that what this is?
No, but we've seen you before, and we've
In a
seen
turban?
we've seen many of you before. Maybe
In a
not in a
turban?
turban, but
It's
like, we've
definitely
seen many
more
of you
likely
before.
that an Asian would put on a turban before a black guy puts on a
fair-
turban.
that's fair
Although,
enough.
Luke, I will say you were the only Asian person
Only.
with a turban. There was another black guy with a turban.
Well, everyone thought I was Japanese
Who
because
was the
there was
other
a
black guy?
Japanese
Darren.
man there.
Oh yeah, Darren was a
Yeah,
turban.
there's two black
Yeah,
guys with
there's
turbans.
two black
He
guys
was the
with
only
turbans.
Asian dude involved in like any of the processions.
This is true.
Yeah.
Well, no, the Japanese guy. Was
Oh
there.
man,
No, but he
All right,
wasn't
that was your
involved. He
best
wasn't.
friend.
He loved me so much, and I.
Did he love you? I feel like you loved him. I don't know, Aria.
Do you want me to? I can read the text like he's been sending me, like thanking me.
I mean, he
can
literally stood up
read it.
yesterday and was like, there is no way for me to express this. This is one of the best moments of my life. Like, he literally said
Dude,
that.
I loved the energy. He was
Such a Japanese cadence.
He's
It was
bro,
amazing.
he was speaking in staccato, man.
Yeah, like such a
like-
cadence. Like, I was like,
We're getting
for
to
context, I was the MC, and at the end we faked the technical error where Michelle had to go change because she wanted to come and
that was
surprise
really well
everyone
done,
with
actually.
it.
I was like, I actually did think it was
Really?
Like an error.
Okay, that's
I
good.
didn't know that
Yeah.
it was faked.
Yeah,
Yeah,
straight
it
up,
was faked.
straight up. Yeah, it
we
was
faked
really,
it.
it was
Me
really well
and Sunday
done.
and Michelle
Yeah.
planned the whole thing.
Oh wow.
No, but
Yeah.
the moment you went into your MC thing, I was like,
Yeah,
this is.
I was like,
'cause
I
knew you
have
were
some
gonna do
stuff
that,
prepared. You know what I mean? Anyway, so
That was pretty good.
It was pretty good. I think.
I'm just catching up now.
Yeah, so we faked the
Took me a
technical error.
whole day.
Let me give the context. So it was a first dance. We faked the technical error because Michelle and Sunday they had basically spent the last year taking salsa lessons.
Yeah.
So
That was
they
really
wanted
good.
to do this special dance for everyone, not just like some basic dance. So they did the basic dance, and then the music cut out, and then Mish like looked around. They both looked at me, and then Mish just like ran outside, and I was like, that wasn't supposed to happen. That wasn't supposed to happen. And then we did some crowd work. So, and honestly, I had way more planned.
He just
dude. The guy's name is Kusu Sensei. By the way, you will never listen to this, but he's an incredible person. He and Michelle worked together in Japan when she taught English. He's the head of the school.
Oh, he was the head of the school.
Yes,
Oh, wow.
exactly. He was literally her boss.
Well, that's why he's sensei.
Exactly. That's why he's sensei. So he came here all the way from Japan just for Michelle and Sunday's wedding.
Incredible.
It's first time in North America. He came by himself, like he has a wife and kids back home and everything.
He was having a blast.
I picked him up from the train station on Thursday. I took him to the event. I got a chance to know
really?
him.
Oh, okay.
That's
okay.
why we were so close.
Oh,
'cause-
that's why you like him?
Yeah, we were like 45 minutes. We were chatting and everything like
Which train
that.
station?
Runnymede. He came to Runnymede, and I picked him up, and I took him to.
he's been here for like a
Mississauga.
couple of days though, right? 'Cause
He's
I
been
saw-
here for 2 weeks.
Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
I saw him at like he went to a Jays.
He went to a Jays game. Exactly. He went to.
You
He
saw
went
him at
to.
a Jays game?
No, he went like I saw like Sunday posted.
Yeah,
like,
Sunday
photo.
and Michelle took me to a Jays game.
Okay,
He went to
okay.
Niagara Falls. He went to Montreal,
Okay.
and like he came. Anyways, all this to say, part of the crowd work, I wanted to go and shout out certain people that had traveled from far and wide. So I went up to him. I spoke to him a couple lines of Japanese that I had like written out as well, and he was like, "Perfect, those are good." And then I was like, tell us how to say congratulations to Sunday and Michelle in Japanese. Like, teach us how to do it. And he takes the mic, dude, and he did so well. It was so much better than I expected. I was like, oh, he's a little shy. He'll say a couple words, and then I'll take
He
it
was
out,
not
and I'll
shy.
go on to the
Not
next
shy.
guy.
Not shy
No,
at all.
dude, he took the mic. He said congratulations and then some. You know what I mean?
He said a lot of stuff.
And then he went in English too, and he said everything that he said in Japanese in English. He's like, this is one of the greatest honors of my life is being here. And
So, keep in mind, his Japanese speech was like a minute and 30 seconds.
it was a lot,
It was like 90 seconds in pure Japanese.
and it filled out the
And-
time
Yeah,
perfectly.
and no one had a clue what he was saying.
And then he went into
and
the
then,
English.
and then
part.
he went into the English
Yeah.
part of the exact same speech for another 90 seconds with the most
Well, we don't know that.
energy
It could have
ever.
I
been
loved it.
different things.
It could have been
I
done.
love
That's
it.
very
It
true
could've-
because we were all clueless.
Who knows? Nobody knows how to speak Japanese.
No one knew.
My question for you is, did he know you were asking him that? Like when you were like, how do you say congratulations to Sunday and Michelle?
He
in
understands
Japanese?
English. He teaches English.
Oh,
He's an English teacher. Yeah. He
Why
teaches.
were someone told me straight up he didn't know English? Like
He's literally an
Spoke
English
English
teacher.
to me. Yeah.
He
definitely
got up on
knows
the
English,
microphone
dude.
and spoke English.
no, but like I don't know. I thought maybe he
His
A lot of
English-
that English was shouting.
maybe he like rehearsed part. That wasn't like that was
His
like
English,
Yeah.
his English, obviously, you got to speak a little slower and things like that. He needed a little bit of guidance, but he's an English teacher. He's Michelle's boss, and she went there to teach English.
He
Fair enough.
he said some English. When you introduced me to him, he spoke
He
some
spoke
English.
English.
Yeah.
And it was funny. I think he was really drunk at the end of the night
He
last
was.
night when you guys left. After you guys left, because I was there until like 2 in the
He
morning,
was walking
2:30 in the
back
morning.
when I was heading out.
He like left, huh? He went back to his hotel and he came back.
Oh,
Like he
really?
changed and he came back and then he stayed until the bitter end. And I was hanging out with like Tammy and my girlfriend, and he kept coming up to us and he was like, you might not know this, but Arya is the sweetest, gentlest, kindest soul. I will never forget him. He's such an amazing
Yeah,
person.
this is
He said that, and bro, he sent me like
By the way,
multiple texts, bro. Like
no one
all
in
of-
this room can verify this statement.
No one
I'm just
can.
saying.
Do you, want,
Sorry.
you guys?
I'm saying
you guys
to
can do
viewers-
this. Tamia can confirm it later.
Kushu said
No one in this room can confirm it.
Not right now, but
No,
eventually,
it was fun. It was
eventually we
fun.
can.
Shout out
Anyways,
Sensei.
shout out to Kusu Sensei. He is genuinely a really incredible person. Just the fact that he came all this way, to do that, was pretty great. But yeah, as far as the wedding overall goes, I thought it was a wonderful thing. I think seeing someone we're so close to get married is definitely a little shocking. But they've been together for a while. It wasn't too shocking in their specific case. But I think, it's you start to think about, we're getting to that age. You know what I mean? Where these things are like normal now. You know what I mean?
I think
I'm
what I
going to
liked
my-
about what I liked about yesterday, they seemed so I don't know, for some reason I always feel like when you go to weddings, people are in like a glass box
Yeah.
a little bit, and everyone's just kind of like encircling them, and they seemed so down to earth yesterday. They were like chilling, talking to, and I feel like I really liked that about their wedding, where they were just like, oh, it's our wedding, we're having fun. Like, are you having fun? We hope you're having fun, because we are. And it was super. Like, I loved that. Like, they were just, I don't know, I haven't been to many Western weddings, right? So that was like a.
Yesterday was a Western wedding.
Yeah, it was a Western
Yesterday
wedding.
was fully the
Yeah, it
Western
was
ceremony.
fully,
Yeah.
like most of the Western weddings.
And that was where they officially got married.
Yeah, where they
signed the
signed. So
papers.
yeah, like I loved it. It was a beautiful ceremony. The dance number, I'm like, if I ever
So good.
if I ever get married, I feel like I should do a dance like that. I feel like that's much better than John Legend. What is it? All of Me, slow dance. Like
100%.
that's great. That's great. Everyone do that. I just loved the doing like a salsa number and like fucking shit up.
Tammy told me I
That's
need to go start taking classes next week in preparation.
Okay, all right. Well, that's between both of you. I think there's a couple steps you need before that.
Yeah, no, she's
Yeah.
just like, just start learning how to dance.
Well,
Whatever you do, start learning how to dance.
Hey man, I'm calling
Sorry,
her
I
out
cut you
though.
off,
Look, if you're gonna talk that shit, you got to get into the circle. Like,
You gotta get into the
what's
circle.
what is the use of your dance abilities? If
That
you're
is-
not
that
gonna
is
show
fair.
them off?
That
I don't
is
know.
fair.
It's I don't know. I saw your boyfriend in there. I will say that I saw Arya in there plenty.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I'm not adding to this
That
conversation.
is. I called her out there and she was
Yeah,
like,
we were like, why are you not
Yeah,
going?
what are you doing? And she was like, nope. That shit ain't flying. That shit
Anyways.
ain't flying.
Overall, it was great.
Congrats. Happy married
congratulations to like
Congratulations.
some of our closest friends, Sandev and Michelle, for getting married, and thank you for letting us be a part of that.
Yeah,
I think
absolutely.
what Sunday said, maybe Michelle said this in her speech.
I
like-
teared up.
Yeah, that part really hit me where there was like I don't think we ever showed us in the context but someone we knew that we went to university
Passed,
with
yeah.
passed away about a year ago, like about a year ago in the summer. They were much closer to him, but I knew him. Like we went to parties together. I drove him from Toronto to Ottawa, and something that Michelle said that I think like really like touched me was when tragedy strikes. One of the things you realize is a lot of the times that people gather together, especially as we get older, is because of tragedy. And I think like that kind of inspired them to do this because they wanted to create moments for everyone to get together and be happy and celebrate. Yeah. And I thought that was really meaningful. And it hit. That was like, she got bars, Like,
I
that's
really
it.
like the in loving memory section. I don't see that at a lot of weddings. So
Absolutely.
to pay a little homage to people you lost recently was a very good touch.
Absolutely.
Tasteful.
I love that.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think we're at time today, guys, and I think that was a really beautiful way to kind of end it.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to us on what's clearly a sleepless episode. So thank you for listening to 150 episodes of the Three Wise Guys. And until next time, until 151st. One love.